Mazuma TV back in the building, man. What's going on, y'all? Shout out to Mazuma Nation. Shout out to the Mazuma Mob. We in the building as always, man. I hope everybody's having a blessed, beautiful, positive, productive day. On my way to go get it, man. Thank God it's Friday. On the road to 2K, man. We in the midpoint of the 1600 mark, man. Let's get to the 1700 mark ASAP, man. Shout out to the nation. Shout out to the mob for making this possible. All right, y'all, this is something that I wanted to touch on yesterday, but I wasn't able to because I had my son with me, you know what I'm saying? And when I have my son, I like to spend as much time with him as possible, try to enjoy every moment. So I step away from YouTube for a little bit, man. I hope y'all understand that. But apparently Teofimo's back out here talking crazy. You know what I'm saying? He out here talking crazy, but this isn't in regards to Jermaine Ortiz or his last performance or anything like that. But he really seems to have his eyes set on Terence Crawford. You know what I'm saying? In the build-up to the Jermaine Ortiz fight, he started calling out Terence Crawford's name, saying all types of stuff about him. They had their little interaction back and forth on social media. And Terence Crawford, when he was at the weigh-in live, he said, "Fuck Teo." You know what I'm saying? So Terence Crawford doesn't really seem to like the man. You know what I mean? And it seems like that's how a lot of people feel about Teofimo nowadays. But regardless, now Teofimo's coming out of the woodworks to say that he's going to request to be the WBO super champion. So that way he could automatically be the mandatory for Terence Crawford's WBO welterweight title. You know what I'm saying? Now, if that's true, if that's something that Teofimo actually does, that's going to be putting a lot of pressure on Terence Crawford and his camp to make it happen. You know what I'm saying? Because if we think back to the time where Terence Crawford was on $1 million worth of game with Gillian Wallow, and he was talking about the whole Jerron Ennis situation. And even Boots had gotten on the phone. He said, "Why didn't Boots just stay in the WBO rankings? Why did you leave the WBO rankings when you could have been my mandatory? And if you could have been my mandatory, then we could have fought." Okay? So Terence Crawford in that situation is making it clear that if mandated, he will fight Jerron Ennis. So who's to say that he wouldn't fight Teofimo Lopez if he was mandated to fight Terence Crawford? You know what I'm saying? Like that's something that could really change the dynamic of who Terence Crawford's possible opponents may be. You know what I'm saying? Because Terence Crawford, in all honesty, it seems like he's not going to get the Canelo fight. Canelo came out on this Spanish show, and he said that there's no chance that he'll be fighting Terence Crawford because if he were to beat him, he wouldn't necessarily get any credit off of it. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't seem like, even though opinions may vary on that topic, it just seems like when Canelo is convinced about something, there's nobody that's really going to move him off of his square. You know what I'm saying? Like once he follows through with something, that's just what he's sticking with. He don't really care about anybody's opinion at the end of the day. You feel what I'm saying? So that's pretty much the situation with that. So Terence Crawford is extremely limited in who he decides to fight. You know what I mean? Who he decides to face. You feel me? So Teofimo Lopez may find himself in a situation where he'd be mandated to fight Terence Crawford. Is Terence Crawford going to accept this challenge, or is he going to move on from 147 pounds? Because although he still has the belts at 147, he told you during the post-fight press conference with Earl Spence that it's getting hard to make the weight. You know what I'm saying? And he has a whole bunch of opportunities to take advantage of at 154 and even 160 pounds. You know what I mean? He just came off of a sensational victory. I thought the performance of the year, you know what I'm saying? Honestly, I think that made him the fighter of the year in 2023. So his stock is at an all-time high right now. So he can honestly go in either direction. He could probably wait for the Tim Tszyu, Keith Thurman winner. He could fight. He could fight for the WBC title, the winner of Fundora and that European dude. I'm sorry, I forgot his name. He has a lot of options. You know what I'm saying? He could go up to 60. He could fight for he could unify the division against John Beck. There's a lot of things that Terence Crawford could do, man. He could even stay at 47 and fight Jerron Ennis and become 3-time undisputed. You feel what I'm saying? So it's pretty much the world is in Terence Crawford's hands right now. It just he just got to move the chess pieces on the board. He got to decide what he needs to do. You know what I mean? I know he was very adamant about facing Canelo. You know what I'm saying? That's something that he genuinely wanted to do. However, it takes two to make a fight, and it doesn't seem like Canelo is very motivated in taking that challenge. You know what I'm saying? Because he feel like he ain't going to get no credit. So if Teofimo goes, you know, signs up to be, I don't even know how they do it, you know what I'm saying, request to be, not say sign up, request to be the WBO super champion, and he goes up to the 147-pound division. He informs the WBO that he's moving up to welterweight. Can you make me Terence Crawford's mandatory? It's going to be very interesting on how Terence Crawford approaches that situation, because if they do grant him that opportunity and Terence Crawford chooses not to fight Teofimo Lopez, is that considered a duck? These are real questions, you know what I'm saying? I know it may sound ridiculous, you know what I'm saying? Oh, Teofimo's never fought at 147. How can he duck somebody that's not in his weight class, Mazuma TV? Well, you know what I'm saying? If he's making it official that he's moving up to welterweight, and they mandate Terence Crawford to fight Teofimo, and he doesn't, what does that look like? You know what I'm saying? But this is all speculation at the end of the day. I'm not calling Terence Crawford a duck at all. But what I'm saying is, if Teofimo is able to make this move, that's going to be applying a lot of pressure on Terence Crawford and his team, man. So y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Teofimo Lopez is considering becoming Terence Crawford's mandatory, man. Tell me what y'all think about that. Do y'all want to see that fight, or do you want to see other fights for Terence Crawford at this point in time? Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments below. This is Mazuma TV. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'm out of here, man. Peace.